I just pushed the live button.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Bill, thanks for joining. We're not going to introduce ourselves. One of the tips I learned today.
The tips today, not to introduce yourself.
Yeah, we're not going to introduce. We're going to introduce ourselves at the tail end. So, hey,
Oh,
we're gonna talk about Winfield, and one caveat, really quick, and this is a true story, by the way. And I'm just going to be real. I'm not a big fan of this town. In fact, about 9 years ago now, 10 years ago, something like that, I really hated this town with a passion. You know why? And I'm being honest here. You know why?
why?
You can ask me why. I
Why?
was
Why?
working.
Why do you hate this town? Why did you hate this town? So I'm assuming that you like it now, right?
Well, I'm still bitter about that memory. So anyhow, I had been I was in transition, so I got a consulting gig in the northwest suburbs in Schaumburg. You know the company Motorola.
Oh
So
yeah.
the project was managing the project after hours. So it was an overnight managing a project. So I drove my 1995 Lexus. I was on my way to work. I take Winfield Road on my way to Schaumburg for the most part because I didn't want to pay tolls, not wanting to take 355. I drive through Winfield Road. I drove through town in my 1995 Lexus ES. And if you remember, I don't know if you're familiar with Lexuses, they have those fog lights at the bottom.
Yeah.
Those fog lights were working. My one headlight was working. The one other headlight wasn't working. And lo and behold, somebody pulls me over.
Ah.
No sirens, just lights. The cop didn't say anything, just asked for license and registration, please. Okay. Anyway, I got a ticket, and it just cites that Illinois law about a broken headlight. One light. Cites the Illinois statutory code and then puts it in the ticket. And I Google it and fast forward a little bit. The story is that I got one ticket, irrespective that I had fog lights working. Do you not have compassion about my story?
There's no. I'm right there
No,
with
no,
you.
give me a warning, man. I
No,
mean,
no. I'm
I'm
right
going
there
to
with you. I
living
think
after hours.
I think my biggest beef with Winfield, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is either in Wheaton or in Winfield, but it's right off of Winfield Road. It's
Hmm.
the traffic light that gets everybody. I want to see how much money they've made on
Oh, that's a
people
cash cow.
gliding through the camera, traffic light there that everybody gets caught on. I bet you everybody that's listening either got one ticket or another at that light. I know I did.
Yeah, that's a cash cow. So
Yeah,
this was a
totally.
time as well, either before or after. It may have been before that the city was considering if they were going to put it on a ballot or a referendum, if they were going to retain their own PD, primarily because I think their city revenues were in a bind. They were probably in the red that they couldn't afford, that they were going to rely on DuPage County Sheriff's Department on their policing work. So I could never forget that. I was on my way to work. Mind you, overnight work is really hard on the body.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done overnight work, our body is not made to do overnight work. So I was doing a project for Motorola. And I mean, I just wish I got a warning. Anyway, we're gonna fast forward a little bit to the city of Winfield. It's actually a nice town. It's north of where we live in Warrenville, and it's, if I remember correctly, it's a 3+ square miles only, based on Wikipedia, and I have to validate that information. But it actually is a nice town, and I think, Bill, if I may say so myself, it's actually a great alternative to Glen Ellyn and Wheaton.
Yeah.
If today's market is pricing out you as a home buyer, you wanted to live in Wheaton or you wanted to live in Glen Ellen, it's pricing you out. I think Winfield would be a great city to consider. And I'll talk about a little bit more about the schools later on. They actually have great schools as well. So we'll fast forward a little bit. Hey, Bill, share with me what you know about Winfield. How about that?
Well, my mother-in-law, who has been an ER nurse for, I think 32, maybe 33 years, is right in CDH. So great hospital right there.
Oh,
Actually,
old name CDH.
yep. Yeah. Um, and my daughter Jordan was born there. So we
Oh,
felt like
wow.
we're really cared for at CDH. So that's huge. I think in Illinois, it's one of the beauties of living in this area as a whole is that you have amazing medical that's at your fingertips, and
Totally
CDH is
agree.
right down the street there.
So maybe it's too personal and doesn't have to persist in YouTube, but why was Jordan born at Central DuPage Hospital?
So the doctor that we went through was in Wheaton, and that's where he decided to deliver her, not us. I mean, I'm already here, but our baby was coming, so that's that's who was being delivered. But yeah, they did great. So that's what he said that he wanted to have. I don't know, and I think also too knowing the fact that my wife's mom was there too. She had kind of, backroom access. And we had emergency C-sections. So that was a good thing that we had her involved and, yeah, but they really did a great job. So we were very pleased.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, if you're not aware, that's been purchased by Northwestern Medicine, and they're on a building spree. I don't know if you've driven by it recently. There's actually a parking deck that's been working on it for a few years now. And there's actually in one of these slides, I'll show an artistic rendition of the new building, what that will look like in the main floor, and then parking structure on the upper floors. And then within that road where I think Jewel and Winfield Road, right within the vicinity, there's a TIF district that's being developed. And I'm going ahead of myself. We'll walk through those slides. And the city really has big plans that would be their central business district and
Mm-hmm.
their old downtown that they're working redevelopment for mixed use. So I think the downtown of Winfield will really be exciting. That's the reason why I think I wanted to profile the city because there are some exciting things happening in this particular suburb. So
That's good.
location location wise, it's north of Warrenville, it's west of Wheaton, a little bit east of West Chicago, to did I say? Oh, yes, it's south of Carroll Stream. So Carroll Stream would be on the north side, and then it's bifurcated between Milton and Winfield Township. Like I mentioned, it's a little over 3 square miles. And then census-wise, the font is a little bit too small. It's 9,000 plus population, so slightly less than the city of Warrenville, which is a little over 14,000 population-wise. But it's really is growing. One of the key landmarks, and also as a history incorporated in the 1800, one of the key landmarks, like what we've talked about, is Northwestern Medicine. I don't even know how many hospital beds they have now at this point in time. But Bill, I'm not sure if you were aware of this. I've taken the train as well when I worked downtown Chicago for Sears Holdings.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken the train as well. The Union Pacific West Line actually runs through there. That terminates in Elburn, and that's the exact same train line that stops in two train stations in Wheaton, and then of course downtown Glen Ellyn, and that terminates in Ogilvie. So they don't have rush hour schedule, just like BNSF in Naperville, which is has the highest ridership among the metro lines. But Union Pacific West Line is a great train station. There's a downtown train station in there. There are parking lots being refurbished. So that's a commuter option for someone who would want to live in Winfield and then they would have a downtown commute.
That's good. So you're saying that they do have a stop in Winfield.
They do. Yeah,
Okay,
that's correct.
good. That was
And I
that
think,
was my next question.
yeah, I think they the last time I checked, they only run. I think in the morning rush hour they may have every half hour, but for non-rush hour they only run on the hour. So they don't have as a frequent schedule like Burlington North, BNSF, whatever the
Mhm.
acronym is, in Naperville line. But still, it terminates in Ogilvy and it takes you to downtown Chicago, which is, of course, just across the street from Union Station.
That's great.
Hey, Bill, I have a question for you. Have you ever played at Klein Creek?
Yeah. Played there with David. Oh
Oh,
gosh.
David's a golfer. Yep.
Yeah, he used to be, but now he's back. He basically blames his score on his back, so that's why he hasn't been golfing lately. Don't tell him I told you that, but we went and golfed there. It's a great golf course.
Mhm.
So I like those kind of smaller courses, and I mean I don't know if it's that small, but at the same time it's not
So
as.
is that mostly par four?
Good question. You got me on that one.
Okay.
I'm not a great golfer either, but I actually am honest about it.
Yeah. Are they full 18?
Yeah, I
Not
believe
just nine
so.
holes.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I kind of jumped myself ahead. Bill, you should take your family to Klein Creek Farm.
Yeah.
That's actually right off County Farm Road. So it's a living historic farm. Hopefully, you've taken your family there. And then, of course, who hasn't gone to Cantigny? They have public gardens, museums. They also have, I think it's only for children's golf course. They have picnic grounds. And we went to a wedding here last summer, last year, and it was just a wonderful place. Bill, any comments on Cantigny?
Oh gosh, yeah. We used to do office meetings there. They have a great intimate um, little room that you can have. It doesn't have to be a whole big wedding venue occupancy. It could be like something small, like a business meeting. So Dave, my brother, again, did an anniversary party for his wife, and we rode around the golf course with the golf carts and had a nice spread as far as meals. It's as far as being probably one of the most well manicured golf courses that I've ever seen. It's pretty amazing, especially in the fall. I think the fall around here brings out those colors, and they really know how to make that pop there.
Yep, absolutely. And then for parks and recreation, and I would imagine, I think St. Charles is surrounded by forest preserves as well. We're really blessed with having the Winfield Mounds Forest Preserve, the Timber Ridge, West DuPage, and then the uh, this particular trail, I'm forgetting the name now, cuts through, I believe, also in Winfield. So Red Hawk Park, again, Klein Creek Golf Club in here, Bellevue Woods Forest Preserve. So just a ton of forest preserve that people can hike and take their mountain trail bikes as well. And also there's a river walk in downtown Winfield. It's a little bit north of Jewel Road and west of Winfield. So just a lot of nature amenities. So this one I'm sharing the picture, Bill. I don't know if can you take your road bike here or do you need fatter tires?
I probably would stay off this because a lot of the prairie path, it does have cement, but then a lot of times it turns into quick gravel. So
Yeah.
as far as road bikes go, I'd probably use more like a hybrid or like the family style mountain bikes. Those are probably a better bet for the preserves. I actually used to love going out and riding every day, like especially when we have days like today where it's 80 degrees. We just
Oh my
take my
goodness.
mountain bike out there and just go as hard as you can for a good hour.
Hmm.
It's great. You see a lot of nature.
Yeah. Illinois Prairie Path was the one I was thinking of. So it cuts across in town as well. You
Hmm.
can cut this through a section in Warrenville, and then, of course, it's going to take you as well to downtown Wheaton. So let's talk about schools really quick. Somehow it was bifurcated by several school districts. It's section of it on the north side belongs to District 33 up to K8. Winfield Elementary School serving on the south side. Then they have District 200 on the east side, which would be part of Wheaton North High School. As the kids go into high school, they would be going into Wheaton North, which is a little bit south of Geneva, and then it's east of Gary Road. And then as they go into high school as well, um, the elementary school kids from District 33 and 34 go to West Chicago Community High School. But they have these, it's central school and elementary school. It's a 58th grade. It's right across the Winfield Elementary School that is across the central school. So they don't have a high school per se. The kids will go to different, depending on the district, they will go to the different high schools between West Chicago and Wheaton North. So I think, Bill, in your talking to your clients, these school districts always figure into the conversation. And I would probably guess it's on the very top line of the requirements. Is that coming up in your conversations pretty often?
Yeah, I think I think what I'm hearing from a lot of people that are looking, or number one thing is schools.
Mhm.
Now that we mentioned it, I think the medical facilities too. That's a huge one for a lot of people. Because I'm originally from Michigan, so
Right.
you get a lot of different types of medical. You know, medical that comes, that's in these different areas. And I think what we see here is it's a different ball game completely with the medical. We have the proton therapy that I think we're one of the only ones in the nation that have that opportunity or option. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of there's also a huge vehicle that CDH has that helps for oh gosh, I can't think of it offhand, but I've been inside of it. It's really the technology is crazy. Schools is another one. Like I said, we top of the line schools in these areas.
Mhm.
Wheaton North is actually where my wife was a athletic trainer. They just won state, so that's huge.
Mhm.
So you got yourself on the map in a good place here, and I think your best bang for your buck's going to be in that Winfield area, because sometimes you'll run into unincorporated areas too, and you'll have lower taxes, bigger lot sizes. It's
Right.
a good kind of happy medium there.
I think, yes, if the home buyer is able to be okay with some of the locations will be on well water and then on a septic tank. Some locations will be on the city water and have a septic tank, but in some areas they may have minimum lot sizes of over half an acre. So just a different situations and scenarios. So I would suggest for the buyer to be just list out all of your requirements, needs, and must-haves, so your real estate agent can shortlist the proper property during the search process. Bill, this is the artistic rendition of the planned downtown. This road on the right bottom corner is Winfield Road. It doesn't look like it's really square to or in a rectangular manner. I can't tell where the train station is going to be in here. Let me see this for a second. No, I take that back. I think this road on the bottom, on the right side, is a Jewel Road, and then the road on the left bottom is the Winfield Road, and then the parking deck is in the lower left bottom, uh,
Right.
if my orientation is correct. But the point being is that there's huge plans for the central business district, and you have the train lines really within downtown as well. And I don't know if they're going to retain the Shell gas station right off Winfield Road. This has an on-grade crossing for the train line. So if you have a freight train coming across, the traffic does back up. But in the same token, I think that metro station will continue as people go back to work downtown Chicago. I think that will really revitalize the downtown Winfield as well. So again, here are the two other artistic renditions. They're doing a TIF district. And Bill, are you familiar with what is a TIF district?
No, this is all new to me.
So anyway, Cantera, if you know Cantera, which is it's a TIF district. I don't know even know how many zones they have. The acronym for that one is tax increment financing. So to the best of my recollection, what it does is just it defers property taxes to the property,
Mhm.
but there are tax incentives for the developer to come in. They may say, "Hey, we're going to waive half half a billion of 10 years of property taxes." But when that incentive ends, for example, in Cantera, that was actually not 100% to Warrenville. It's shared with Naperville taxing body. So a short description to it is a tax incentive for the developer to come in to be able to um, make their pro forma look better so they can come in and build this really nice, could be a mixed use or just a medical building. Bill, if you ever get a chance, drive down Winfield Road and take a look at what really is going on with Northwestern
Yeah,
medicine. And
yeah.
there's tons of stuff going on. There's, I can't even describe. There's also uh, a rental property. I think it's a little bit south of the train station, but it's west of Winfield Road. Anyway, the new construction is actually going on right now. I see fencing right next to that 7-Eleven, and that 7-Eleven may be demolished. But
Mhm.
tons of new construction going on within that district. So
That's
this
great.
is, yeah, here's the development plan. Oh, High Lake Road is the other road that's a little bit north of Jewel.
Okay.
And this is all of the redevelopment plan for the city. So, Bill, have you had clients that have purchased in Winfield?
Yeah,
Oh, you have?
yeah.
They vary quite a bit in price points, but I think their price points are much higher. They're probably, if I could guess, about 300 and above.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not.
Do you remember your price points on your
Yeah, I think it
clients?
was. I mean, this was last year. You know, you get out of all the people. I think we did last year about 165 loans, and then I
Mhm.
think about maybe a third might have been in that area, like Warrenville and Winfield area. But I
Mhm.
think what I was noticing is that it is a pretty big range depending on where you're at. But I think
Mhm.
that kind of happy medium is probably that 400,000 to 500,000 range.
Yeah,
And obviously with the appreciation right now, it's been
yeah,
a good
it's
thing for
nuts.
everybody.
The very last development that I am aware of is Trillium came in there as a builder, and they're building uh, south of Roosevelt, and then that other road after Mac. So anyway, Trillium is a new development that's out there. They may be sold out already. There's a section there for over 55 uh, development, and they may have other section of the development that's not just for over 55. But here's a sample. Here's a snippet of the Trillium homes that they have built. So you'll see there it's almost 600K at this point. And you can see there, this is just a snippet of the KW website, teamtalk.kw.com. And you can see the price point, they're almost 600K, and you'll see the snippet in here. All of these are already pending. So there's quite a bit of market activity in Winfield, just like in a Chicagoland suburb. And the
Mhm.
2.3 mil, that's all right. I think that's in Wheaton. So, anyhow, hey, Bill, here are my conclusions. Number
Yeah.
one is I sincerely believe it's a great alternative to Wheaton and Glen Ellyn if those two towns are pricing you out. The school ratings are, I believe, they're high on the above average side, but I would rely on the home buyer to still continue to do their research because at the end of the day, there they the kids, though the buyer's children may have specific needs and wants, contingent, special, not so much special needs, but specific needs that they may want for their kids. So the third one in there, commuter suburb trains, metro trains going to Ogilvy train station. They have downtown that's really revitalizing. The town is investing a whole lot through TIF funding. And then again, because of the great outdoor amenities that they have, I think it's a value add to the city. So, Bill, if you have any clients that they may say, I'm getting price out of Glen Ellen and Wheaton, you may want to suggest Winfield and Warrenville as an alternative in their search process. That's what I would challenge you, Bill, if you have an opportunity to converse with your clients.
Yeah, that's a great words of wisdom there. I think, a couple of things that I've noticed here is that there's smaller downtown towns, so you have a smaller community.
Mhm,
And then I think the other thing that I noticed about both of those areas, Warrenville and Winfield, are the fact that there's a little bit more space on some of the lot sizes too. So,
mhm,
but it's one of those things where you can see it's continually growing. It's a small community, but it's growing.
mhm,
So I just, like look back at the history really quick on 1884. They started with like 300 people and now they're up to 9,800, and each
mhm,
year they're growing more and more. So it says that there is a desire to live there too. So that's a good thing. So it's not going the opposite direction, which is something we wouldn't want to see. But I think in this particular case, you got the schools, you got the medical facilities, and then you have the new up and coming, the TIF funding, like you said, that is going to
mhm,
create that a
mhm.
downtown feel. So maybe a walkable downtown, and it's smaller. So
Yeah, it remains to be seen. There was actually a lot of debate. I was on the Nextdoor app at some point in time, and there was a huge debate about when this is actually in the process, the Trillium development that is, when that was in the process of being permitted and going through zoning meetings with the city. There was a huge debate. Of course, people in Wheaton were up in arms. People were in Warrenville were up in arms. It's going to create so much traffic. But still, the reality is that we are short of inventory, and I think we need to welcome Trillium development as a a good development, and it's a welcome addition to the inventory problem. So I
yeah,
think it's good all around. Hey, Bill, what
yeah.
about we talk about St. Charles next? How about what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you're saying that, I'm also thinking about my own personal situation. So, I was living in Naperville, just north of downtown, smaller lot, Cape Cod type of house, and I just like I said, I'm from Michigan, so I need a little bit more space. So I need to get out further west. The older I get, I feel like I need a little bit more space. Maybe I'm getting more grumpier as I get older. I don't know. But with the other thing too is the other question I ask is, what's your why? Why are you moving? One of the reasons why we moved was, we had a little daughter and our parents are out here. So gave us like a little 5-minute jog to the parents' house for those family visits. So, but yeah, I think both. I'm learning a lot about St. Charles out here. It's a completely different culture and mindset. Whereas Warrenville has its own culture, Winfield has its own culture. Glen Ellyn, I love Glen Ellyn. Um,
Mhm.
it's one of my favorite towns. But at the same time, prices are pretty pricey there. But for me, for the most part, was just I wanted more space. That was pretty much my biggest reason.
Yeah, not to knock down St. Charles. St. Charles is actually a great town to live in as well and raise a family. They have a very historic downtown, and there's a lot of amenities as well. And you've got the river. What river is that? The Des Plaines River,
Fox.
Fox
Fox,
River.
yeah.
So that is a huge amenity to towns like Geneva and Batavia. So, hey, Bill, thank you so much for spending time with me to walk through Winfield. We believe it's a great alternative, like I mentioned, to Glen Ellyn and Wheaton.
You got it.
Hey, Bill, we'll talk to you soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good day.
Okay, take care now.
Bye.